Greetings. It's me, Bradley. I'm the weird guy. So I've got an update for you guys about my spiritual journey. Remember how I was telling you all about when I smoked DMT, and when I was tripping, I was seeing like two movies playing at the same time. One would be like the DMT movie, and that was kind of like in front of like the real movie, which would be like the actual room. And I was like seeing through the DMT movie. It's kind of like transparent, and then I could see the room. Well, that DMT movie was in my mind's eye, meaning I could close my eyes and I would see the exact same DMT movie, minus the room, of course, because my eyes were closed. And then when I would open my eyes, I would see the same thing. There would be like no interruption, crystal clear, just like two movies playing at once. The DMT movie, when my eyes were open, would be like kind of transparent. I still could see it pretty good. I could see it better when my eyes were closed. But when my eyes were open, I could still see it. It was just kind of like transparent, kind of like a heads up display. So remember that. So after that DMT trip and those mushroom trips at the park down at the river, and I found my past life as a Mayan priestess, everything was going great. I thought I was like figuring out the secrets of the world. Yeah, I was still wanting to learn more. And I was wanting to find out more about my past life. So one of my trips, I was at home alone, and I took like a normal moderate dose for me, which was, I think it was 4.3 grams of golden teachers. And I was just chilling, laying on my bed watching YouTube. I was watching some DMT shows, one being, I forgot his name. He's an expert in consciousness. He's bald, Gallimore or something like that. But I was laying in bed and ate the mushrooms probably like 20 minutes before. I have a real fast metabolism and they usually kick in real quick. So I was just kind of laying in bed and the TV was on in the background. It was getting close to sunset, and my room, the back window faces like southwest, and the sun was setting in the west, and that's kind of where the TV is, in front of the window, and the light's kind of shining in the window. Shadows are getting real long outside, and I'm just kind of laying in bed listening to what they're talking about on TV, and just closing my eyes as I kind of rise through my chakras and stuff. It's kind of I kind of do this thing like when I'm coming up where I'm real still and I meditate until I get all those like jumbled thoughts out of the way. It's something I've learned over the years to kind of separate myself from the trip. And as I did that, and I kind of broke through my chakras, then I was just kind of chilling. And I was watching TV, and like I said, they were talking about DMT and stuff. And the light's it's getting lower, and it's shining through my window. And as I'm watching this podcast, man, clear as day, alien fucking language started scrolling across their foreheads, just like on a news program, same direction, clear as day. And I'm not like seeing wavy gravy. The room's just normal, you know. Like I said, that's kind of like a moderate dose for me. I'm very accustomed to it. You know, I usually see kind of like fractals and like kind of like split light holographic kind of stuff. But like I'm real keen, like even when I'm tripping on higher doses, you know, I see the world as it is for the most part. I mean, it's it's uh, it's a little different, but you know, I don't like hallucinate like weird shit. So I'm watching this podcast. They're talking about DMT. The bald guy's on there, and the alien language is scrolling across his fucking forehead, and it's clear as day. It's yellow, like yellowish gold, and I mean, I couldn't believe my eyes. So I'm taken back from that, and I'm trying, you know, not to freak out. I kind of made a deal with myself since I've been on this journey for answers. You know, I'm not gonna be a pussy and like get scared over stuff like that because I want answers. So you know, that's what I asked for. So kind of calm myself down and kind of start investigating a little bit, looking a little closer, and then I notice this. I don't know how to describe this, but it was similar to my DMT trip. It was like looking through a movie screen at the real room. It was in front, and that movie screen was like this heads up, high tech, futuristic, like alien heads up display, almost as if it was like in a spaceship or something. And it had a bunch of active things going on this display, and the lower right corner was like this ring looking blue. It almost looked like a computer hard drive. It had like several concentric circles with like kind of notches cut on the outer rims of each circle, and they were kind of spinning at different rates and doing this weird shit. And then in the other corner there's like these little lights and other alien shit going on. And then at the same time, the TV's got the language going on their foreheads. And very similar to the DMT trip. It was kind of skewed at an angle, kind of like those other trips where I'm up looking down. Um, and I couldn't believe my eyes. But I kind of thought to myself, I'm going to kind of investigate this a little bit. I didn't want to move too much because I didn't want it to go away, but it really didn't. I got a little bit closer to the TV and moved around, and it was stationary. And like like I said, this wasn't like you know, wavy or fuzzy looking. It was just crystal clear. I mean, the heads up display part was like kind of transparent, but like the edges of all the language and the little hard drives and all the little buttons and whatever, they weren't buttons, like just little things going on in this display. They were just crystal clear. Um, and I thought to myself, you know, is this in my mind's eye? And I closed my eyes. As soon as I closed my eyes, just disappear, just black, like my eyes were closed normally, you know. And opened my eyes and right back. Um, you know, I was kind of closing one eye and the other eye made no difference. As long as one of my eyes were open, I saw that heads up display shit along with the alien language that was scrolling on their foreheads. So it wasn't in my mind's eye, and it made me think about the DMT laser experiment. Um, something, you know, something to do with that sun setting at that angle and the light coming in the window. allowed me to see something that most people don't see, is my theory. Um, and yeah, it threw me for a loop. Um, because I was just kind of trying to figure out more about the Mayan priestess and stuff. That's kind of what I was going in that trip for. And I got alien language scrolling across people's foreheads on TV, and a fucking alien heads up display unit instead. But nonetheless, like I said, I asked for it, and I started thinking about it, and what could that be? You know, it's simulation theory, of course. Could be that. Could be like maybe I'm just some type of avatar, and some higher intelligence is beaming itself into this avatar, and that's their heads up display, or that's their computer monitor or something, or what, do I have like some type of alien implant in me? Like, the part that really gets me is it not being in my mind's eye. Closing my eyes and it just disappearing, and as soon as my eyes are open, it's just back doing the same damn thing. No adjustment at all. It's not moving. It's stationary in my field of vision. I can move my head, and it's staying there with my head. Um, and that brings me to the second thing about this journey, and it keeps coming up in the back of my head, um, and it's my secret that I've had nearly my entire life. Um, yeah, something happened to me when I was 5 years old. It was when I'm an only child, and it was when my parents and I, when they were still married, first moved to Austin. Um, we were probably there less than 6 months, and we were settled into the place. It was a new house, and it was it wasn't getting dark, but it was probably like an hour before sunset, and my mom said, I can go outside and play on the swing set, um, while she got dinner ready. And I'm out there, and it's almost getting dark, and I'm just kind of farting around on the swing set, just kind of sitting, by myself, just kind of looking at my feet. And I remember seeing like this light, and forgive me, because my memories, even after this happened, my memory is kind of spotty on this. Fucking Crumley. Crumley is barking. Gotta get a couple more barks in there. Okay, so yeah, I'm sitting on the swing set, and I'm just kind of looking at my feet, and forgive me, because even after this happened, my memory is like spotty on this. But I remember seeing a light, and next thing I know, I'm in a spaceship with aliens, and I just remember bits and pieces of this. It wasn't a bad experience. Um, it was kind of a cool experience, honestly. But I remember being kind of. There was one alien in particular, kind of with a feminine demeanor, and I remember her kind of taking me around the ship and kind of explaining things to me. And it was all telepathic. I remember looking out of this big window and seeing just stars everywhere, and the stars were just kind of moving weird angles. I remember that pretty vividly. And there was something else, something about their suits, or they are wearing suits, or they were the suits. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe something about them saying, don't be scared. These are only our suits. Um, we use these as tools, something to that effect. And I don't remember much more, um, other than sitting back, being on the swing set again, and looking up at bright light and being completely out of it, like zoned out completely, um, to where like my vision is kind of fuzzy, and then the next thing I know, my mom's saying, Bradley, come on, it's time to eat, and it just seemed like 30 seconds passed from the time I sat down on that swing set. So it's time to eat, right? So go in, and I don't think I said a word. I don't know if I could have said a word. I was just like almost like a zombie, and my vision was kind of wonky. And I remember looking up at the light. We had these big like fluorescent lights above the dinner table, and I remember looking up at that light, and my eyes are kind of having a hard time focusing. And they communicated with me, and it wasn't like words, but it was kind of like just a thought. And the thought was, we'll always be with you. All you have to do is stare into a light and blur your eyes and zone out. And that's how we can communicate. Now, after that weird alien console shit and the sun setting and thinking about the DMT laser experiment, um, I think there's something to do with this light and reality and consciousness. What it is, I have no idea. But maybe you guys will have some hypotheses. Let me know in the comments. So that's my big secret. I was abducted by aliens at 5 years old. Never happened again. I've never had any communication as described, but maybe I am now. So, humans of the earth, we are all one. Love one another. Fucking aliens.